Hey everyone, welcome back to the Incredible India podcast series. I'm Sam.
And I'm Taylor.
Usually when I prep for one of these, I have a cup of coffee and I'm ready to go.
Mm-hmm.
For this one, I felt like I needed a stiff drink and maybe a background check just to get through the source material.
It is pretty intense, isn't it?
It's wild. I mean, we're supposed to be talking about ancient history, right? The Mauryan Empire, around 321 BCE.
Right.
But the notes you sent over, they read like a screenplay for, I don't know, a modern political thriller.
Right.
We've got sleeper agents, poisoned damsels, psychological warfare.
And a guy who makes Machiavelli look like a guidance counselor.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it.
So if you're a fan of something like Game of Thrones or maybe, those dark Cold War spy novels, this story is really going to hit home.
So what are we actually diving into today?
We are diving into the Chanakya Arthashastra spy thriller.
Which totally sounds like a movie title.
It really does. But it's a narrative account that dramatizes how the largest empire in Indian history wasn't necessarily built on the battlefield. It was built in the shadows.
And that's our mission today, then. We want to unpack this story of Chanakya and his protege, Chandragupta Maurya.
Yeah.
But not just listing dates. We're going to get into the tradecraft, the poisons, the spies, and this beggar scholar who took down an entire dynasty with a grudge and a razor.
And the razor is exactly where we have to start.
Okay, so let's set the scene. Pataliputra, 321 BCE.
Right. So imagine the capital of the Nanda Empire. The source material describes it so vividly. It's just baking under this brutal sun in Magadha. The air is thick with dust and what the text calls betrayed spirits.
So it's tense?
Very tense. It's a wealthy city, but the people are suffering under this tyrant king named Dhanananda.
And into this pressure cooker walks our protagonist. Or maybe anti-hero is a better word for him. Chanakya.
Chanakya is a Brahmin scholar. He's brilliant, he's learned, but on this one particular day, he is just completely humiliated. He goes to the king's court, probably to offer some advice, and Dhanananda just insults him, calls him a beggar scholar, and kicks him out.
Which, in that kind of social hierarchy, that's devastating.
Oh, it is. But Chanakya, he doesn't just, walk away. The source describes this really visceral image of him standing there, his scalp actually bleeding because he has just shaved his head.
So this is the inciting incident.
This is it. He undoes his shikha, that's the traditional top knot of hair that signifies his status, and he swears what's called the razor's oath.
And what's that?
He vows that he will not tie his hair back until the Nanda dynasty is completely destroyed, root and branch.
Wow, that's some serious commitment. I'm not doing my hair until I overthrow the government.
Pretty much.
But here's the thing that struck me. He's one guy, he's a teacher, he doesn't have an army. How does a scholar even begin to fulfill a vow like that?
He needs a weapon. And this is where the story shifts to a wrestling pit.
Oh, I loved this scene. It felt so cinematic. You can just picture it, right? The village crowds, the drums beating.
Mm-hmm.
And in the pit, there's this port. The source calls him an ox-necked brute of a wrestler.
A massive guy.
Huge. And he's facing a 16-year-old shepherd boy, Chandragupta.
And it looks like a total mismatch. I mean, the wrestler outweighs him by a huge amount. But the text says Chandragupta has feral eyes. He's a survivor.
And he doesn't fight with just strength. He uses leverage.
Yeah.
The source says he moves with cobra precision, hooks the giant's leg, and just slams him into the clay.
Now, you have to imagine Chanakya watching all this from a ridge. He's not cheering. He's analyzing. He's actually quoting his own future treatise, the Arthashastra, in his head.
What's he thinking?
Sutra 1.15, activity births wealth. He realizes this boy isn't just a shepherd, he's raw material.
So he decides to weaponize him.
Exactly. He turns to his Gudha Purusha, which is the Sanskrit term for a spy or a secret agent, and he just says, that boy carries the seed of a Mauryan Empire.
And this kicks off the whole strategy. He has a framework for this, doesn't he? He's not just winging it.
No, never. He uses what are called the 4 upayas. These are 4 core strategies of statecraft that are still studied today. Sama, Dana, Peta, Danda.
Okay, break those down for us, because they keep coming up.
So Sama is conciliation, basically talking, negotiating. Dana is gifts or, bribery. Beta is discord sowing division among your enemies.
Danda.
That's the stick.
Force. And Chanakya's whole genius is knowing exactly which one to use and when.
Precisely. But you can't just take a shepherd and put him on a throne. You have to train him.
Which brings us to the cave.
The cave of 6,000 sutras.
This sounds like a movie training montage, but way darker. We flash forward 4 years. They're hiding in this dripping cave somewhere in the forests of Magadha.
It's grim. The only light is from sesame lamps. And the training is just brutal. The text says Chandragupta is kneeling on cold stone. His palms are scarred.
Scarred from what?
Poison drills.
See, this is where it really gets into the thriller part. He's not just learning history. He's handling venom.
Chanakya is practicing what's called Mithridatism on him. He's feeding the boy small, non-lethal doses of poison arsenic, cobra venom, day after day.
To build up an immunity.
Exactly, because in Chanakya's world, if you can't survive a poisoned meal, you can't possibly be king.
So he's grinding 6,000 sutras of statecraft into his brain while literally turning his blood into antifreeze.
That's a good way to put it. And once the boy is ready, they pick their first target. But they don't go for the Nanda king right away. That would be suicide.
They start with the Greeks.
The leftovers from Alexander the Great's conquest. He had left, but his governors, the satraps, were still holding the northwest in Punjab. Chanakya saw them as the perfect testing ground.
But again, no big army yet. So how do they fight the famous Greek phalanx?
They use the upayas, specifically dana and beta, bribery and discord. They send in these Udayaka spies disguised as traitors to infiltrate the Greek camps.
And the source mentions a very specific bribe, peacock tongues.
I knew you were going to catch that.
It's so specific. Why peacock tongues?
It represents exotic luxury. These Greek soldiers are far from home, they're tired, they're demoralized, and these spies show up with gold and these incredible delicacies.
Soften them up.
Exactly. And while they eat, the spies whisper. They tell the soldiers their commanders are hoarding food, that the war is pointless. They rot the army from the inside out.
But they do eventually use force. And this is my favorite part of the deep dive. The black elephants.
This is psychological warfare at its absolute finest. Chanakya orders his small force to paint 500 elephants pitch black.
Just imagine that visual.
It's terrifying. And they attack at dusk. So the Greeks, they're used to horses. Maybe they've seen elephants, but not like this. Suddenly, out of the twilight, 500 massive, silent, black shapes just materialize. They look like demons.
And elephants terrify horses.
They absolutely do. The smell alone causes a panic in the cavalry. It just broke the Greeks' nerve. It goes right back to the Arthashastra, Book 10. Terror is a force multiplier.
So you don't need to kill everyone if you can make them think they're fighting monsters.
Exactly.
But I do want to touch on the practical side. I mean, painting elephants, bribing soldiers with delicacies, this stuff is expensive. How is a beggar scholar paying for all this?
That's the key insight here. Chanakya understands that war is economics. He teaches Chandragupta this concept of yoga-kshema. It means welfare, but in this context, it's about state security through wealth.
He's basically setting up a shadow economy to fund the revolution.
Pretty much. He taxes the salt monopolies. He takes a cut from the pearl divers. He controls what the text calls the lapidary secrets, the gem cutters. He used the economy to fund the espionage.
So they kick the Greeks out, they have money, they have momentum, now they can finally turn to the real enemy.
The Nanda dynasty. But the Nandas are powerful. They have a massive standing army. So Chanakya doesn't plan a siege, he plans an implosion.
This is the Shadow War.
We jump to about 321 BCE, the fall of the Nanda. And notice, the source doesn't describe some glorious charge across a field.
No.
It describes concubines whispering lies in bedchambers. It describes poisoners striking wine jars in the royal kitchens.
It's Beheda. It's discord again.
All discord. By the time Chandragupta's army even shows up, the Nanda leadership is completely paranoid. They don't know who to trust. The army is in chaos.
And we get that final confrontation. King Dhanananda kneeling in his shattered court, and Chanakya standing over him.
With the razor, and he delivers that incredible line, "Empire whispers louder than any sword ever swung."
That is a mic drop moment. It's his whole philosophy. A sword kills one person. A whisper can kill an entire regime.
So the vow is fulfilled, the hair is finally tied back, but the story is not over.
No, because in this world, winning the throne is the easy part. Keeping it is what's hard. And the Greeks come back.
Around 305 BCE, Seleucus Nicator, one of Alexander's top generals, comes back to reclaim the Indian territories. He crosses the Hindu Kush Mountains. But instead of a huge war, we get what's called the Ivory Gambit.
Seleucus's envoys arrive, expecting a fight. And instead, Chandragupta offers him a deal.
He offers him 500 war elephants.
Now think about that. That's like handing over 500 main battle tanks today. It seems insane.
It does. Why give your enemy your best weapon?
So what did he get in return?
Territory. Massive territory. Kabul, Arachosia, which is modern Kandahar Gadrosia. He pushed the border of India all the way to the edge of what is now Iran.
He bought a buffer zone With elephants.
Exactly. And he got a bride.
This leads to the domestic thriller section. We meet Helena.
Seleucus's daughter. The source describes her as golden-tressed with sapphire eyes, a really stark contrast to the Mauryan court. And this becomes the first major East-West dynastic marriage.
And the text makes it sound kind of romantic with forbidden trysts and bamboo thickets. But Chanakya is always watching.
He has to. He sees Helena as a potential vulnerability. And he's right to be paranoid because the danger is very real. There's a scene where a Nanda loyalist tries to assassinate Chandragupta.
With poisoned curry, which feels very on brand for our series.
It is. But Chanakya is, of course, 10 steps ahead. The text says he has the Book 14 antidote ready in his sleeve. He anticipated the exact type of poison.
So he knew it was coming.
And after that assassination attempt, he doesn't relax. He triples the harem spy network overnight.
I love the description here. Even the palace canals are filled with spies listening to the weeping brickwork.
And that's the reality of the Mauryan Golden Age. We look back and think of golden ages as times of freedom, but this story argues that all that peace was purchased with surveillance.
It was a police state.
A highly effective one. There's a great little story about a Greek mapmaker they catch. But they don't just torture him, they use honeyed words. They turn him. He becomes a loyal guildmaster for the empire.
That's Dharma must temper Artha.
Right. Righteousness balancing politics. Chanakya believed that if the state was strong and all-knowing, then the people would be safe. And for the most part, they were. The economy boomed.
The Varda caravans.
Exactly. Varda is economics. Because the spies were everywhere, the roads were safe from bandits. So you had lapis lazuli coming from Badakhshan, pearls from the south. The hidden spy veins of the empire were pumping life into the economy.
It's a fascinating trade-off. Give up your privacy, and you get prosperity.
And that really brings us to the legacy. The story ends with the birth of the next generation, Prince Bindusara.
And Chanakya is there, just watching from a balcony.
Yeah, he's looking out at this city that he built from nothing, and he wonders briefly about the fever that killed the Nanda king. Was it actually venom? Was it a bribe? And he decides, it doesn't matter.
Because the result is what counts.
And the final thought from the source material is so profound. It says, empires rise first in determined minds, not on blood-soaked battlefields.
That really is the big takeaway for me. We always focus on the armies and the big battles. But this massive superpower, the Mauryan Empire, was basically constructed in the mind of a shaved-headed scholar in a cave long before a single soldier marched.
It was an intellectual construct first and a physical reality second. And the tools he used, Sama, Dana, Behita, Danda, we see them in the news every single day.
The technology changes. We have satellites instead of spies hiding in trees.
Yeah.
But the psychology is absolutely identical.
It really is. And, reading about all this is one thing, but just trying to imagine the scale of it, the ruins of Pataliputra, the vast plains where those black elephants charged, it really makes you want to see it for yourself.
It really does. If you decide to travel to India, we have a recommendation. 5 Senses Tours organizes tours across India, which are immersive cultural experiences. You can email contact@fivesensestours.com. Note 5 is written as a numeral in contact at fivesensestours.com or WhatsApp to +919 845 677 446.
It's definitely worth the trip to walk on the ground where Chanakya's spies once whispered.
Thanks for joining us for this incredible story. We'll catch you on the next deep dive.
See you then.